What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm just leaving work at the moment. I just thought I could hop on camera and have a conversation while I'm driving home. The reason why I wanted to hop on camera today is because I just wanted to talk about the difference between having a career and having a job. And the reason I want to have that conversation is because I was at work today and I was chatting to some students, and we were just having a conversation about my career prospect, or how I ended up becoming a lecturer and why I chose that career. And part of the conversation was me asking them what are their career prospects and what do they see themselves doing, because most often than not, students do not know where they are gonna end up, and that's normal. Even with me, I didn't know where I didn't actually picture myself being a lecturer or doing anything that has to do with academia. I thought that I would just study and I would see myself doing my own thing in my own business. So I completely empathize with them not knowing what it is that they want to do. That's a normal thing. But I thought they would have more of an idea, even if it's a small little idea of what it is that they want to do. Because as I said, with me, I didn't picture my career prospects going the academic route. I thought that I would go into business and I would maybe work for somebody for a few years and then I'll start my own thing. But what I'm finding is with my students right now, they aren't even sure if they're going to be going into jewelry as a business or as a career path. So since this thing is still fresh in my mind, I thought, let me just hop on camera and put this thing out a little bit and think about it a bit more, while it's kind of me thinking things through, I suppose. So when we're talking about the difference between a career and a job, the definitions for me, the way that I understand it, would be a job is something that you go to every single day, and there are certain things that you have to do in order for you to get paid. So you're basically ticking boxes. So you wake up every day and you know that today I have to do this, this and this, and then at the end of the month I will get paid. Another thing about having a job would be there aren't any career prospects, so you can't grow within that space. So if you find yourself that, as an example, and I'm not trying to single out these people in particular, but this is the first thing that comes to mind. If you are, let's say for instance, a teller at a supermarket, your job every day is you need to, when customers come, you pack their plastics, and you do that all day long. There isn't any career prospects of you to grow within that, because at the end of the day, your job is literally that. A customer comes in, you swipe the items of food, you put it in the plastic bag, and then you go to the next person. That's kind of what you do as your job. Whereas with a career, you are basically in control of how far you see the career going, or how far your job can go, and there are clear career prospects and career growth opportunities within that job. So for an example, if I'm going to use my career that I'm in right now, being an academic, the career prospects start as a junior lecturer. After being a junior lecturer, you then move to being a lecturer, which is where I am right now. From lecturer, you move to senior lecturer. From senior lecturer, you move to associate professor. From associate professor to professor. That is basically the career projection that you can see yourself. And then coupled with that, depending on the qualification that you have, you can see your career prospects kind of even shooting even further, or kind of the money that you can make, I can say, shooting even further. And there are certain qualifications that you need in order to even qualify to be at a certain career prospect. So for instance, I can be the best lecturer in the world, but if I do not have a PhD, as an example, my chances of being a professor are almost zero, because to be a professor you need to have studied and you need to have written a lot of articles and attend a lot of conferences, and your research capacity has to be at a certain level in order for you to even qualify to be a professor. As I said, I can be the best lecturer in the world, but if I do not have a doctorate, PhD, I can forget about even doing anything of that sort. So that's the nice thing about having a career, is that I get to choose how far I can go. And also within academia itself, as I said, if I get to the point where I am now a professor, within academia, me being a lecturer, I can go as far as being the vice chancellor at the university that I'm working at. That's literally how far your career prospects can get. Right now I'm a lecturer. I can see myself becoming the head of department at my department. From head of department I can be dean of faculty. I can be a deputy vice chancellor. From deputy vice chancellor I can move over to being the vice chancellor, the VC. So that's literally how far it can go when it becomes a career prospect that I'm doing. So me talking about this right now is, if you are watching this video right now and you are not sure about what your future can look like, kind of take a step back and look at where you are at the moment. And based on where you are at the moment, think about where do I see myself in 5 or 10 years time? Where do I see myself living? Like, be as specific and as laser focused as you can, and literally as literal as you can be about where you see yourself in the next couple of years. Because as soon as you have that picture in your mind, whatever career prospects that you are currently in, even if, let's say, you at the moment all you have is a job and there isn't any growth within your job, if you think about where you want to see yourself in the next couple of years, maybe it'll spark something within you where you decide, okay, maybe it's time I went back to school and I studied, so that I can see myself building within my chosen industry, and I can see the career that I am envisioning in myself. I can see that kind of taking off. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but I don't believe that any of us were brought on this earth to wake up, go to work, just tick a few boxes, and then at the end of the month we get paid. I don't see that. I don't think that's what we were all brought on this earth to do. And even with me saying all of this thing, I'm not saying everyone now should be focusing on making money. Maybe money isn't the thing that you are focusing on. Maybe you are looking at helping the world. You see yourself as being somebody that assists within, NGOs, or you see yourself being one of those people that really do a lot of social work. That could be a career prospect of yours, and that's something that you should really focus on if that's where you see yourself. So really think about what it is that you want to do, and as soon as you've got that idea in your mind, if it means you need to go back to school so that you can see that career taking off, I would suggest that you do that, man. Because as I said, having that conversation with my students and listening to how a lot of them are feeling a bit despondent because it's true, the economy that we're in isn't very favorable, and many people aren't interested in buying jewelry, and it's very difficult to see yourself becoming something really great within the jewelry industry. But if you're innovative and you're able to think outside of the box, anything is possible. And even with me, me starting this YouTube channel is because I'm trying to do something that's a bit more different as opposed to the usual things that people see. So if I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me show people how to make jewelry, and then at some stage this will be a gateway for people to see how my business works and how jewelry works, and then they'll be able to come and ask me to design and manufacture stuff for them. This is me kind of building my career outside of academia. Academia is great, and there are a lot of career prospects there that I can see myself getting into, but you know, who knows what will happen in the future. If there is an opportunity for me to focus on building my business fully, and I can see that it's worthwhile and it's something that I can sink my teeth into, and it's something that can really grow, that's the route that I'm going to go. You know, because I studied this for that reason. I really do enjoy working with my hands, and I think, you know, even being able to be a lecturer, you know, an educator, it's rewarding, and it's something that I see myself doing in one capacity or another. So yeah, man, just kind of think about where you see yourself in the future. Think about the kind of career that you see yourself getting into, and I really do encourage you to go to school if it's necessary. Do what you need to do and get that qualification, man. You only live once, and life is one of those things that once it's done, it's done. You know, we don't know what's happening on the other side. There might be more that we are not aware of. If there is, that's great, but we will never know up until we get there. So while you have the opportunity, go to school, study, and think about where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. If you having a job right now is because you're trying to build money so that you can go to school, that is fantastic. I'm really happy that that's the case. Hopefully that is the case. If it's not the case, and maybe you've just fallen on hard times, man, keep your head up. I promise you it'll all be okay. And as long as you believe, and as long as you have the idea of where your life will be, I promise you'll be able to achieve anything. So that's just kind of what I wanted to chat about a little bit, just a brain dump. Think about your future, think about where you want to be, and put your best foot forward. And I wish you all the best, man. So that's today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, very impromptu, but you know, it's something that's been on my mind since I was speaking to my students. So I thought, let me just put it on video, and it could be, it's a way of me kind of getting it out myself. So until we do meet again, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. We will chat again very, very soon. Peace.